Hello everyone, I'm Steve, Mark's around. Say hi, Mark.
Hi everybody!
And this is Smokey, Steve, and Mark. Either welcome or welcome back, and happy Saturday. It is the weekend, so we know what that means. We're going indulgent, sweetened condensed milk. And there's some coffee in that as well. Very good stuff. It is a very rare treat. So, hope everyone's well, everyone's safe, look after yourselves, listen to public health protocols as they are given in your region, and that's all. That's the PSA for today. So, we're going to continue our discussion about our fair lady, Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, The Daily Chantal, Chantopolis, and Foodie Beauty again. Now, where we left off last week, it was just mukbang after mukbang. See, I don't really, say it correctly. I usually say mukbang, so I try to mix it up. And in her car, with Pete's, in front of a green screen, from Red Lobster, which was probably the most, grand mukbang I've seen in a while. It was $100 worth of food or so. And then, going into this week, I don't know that there was so much a theme as much as it's just having it her way, going forward, when she would say, I'm not going to discuss weight loss on my channel, and all of a sudden it's like she actually isn't discussing weight loss on her channel. However, being consistently inconsistent, that's bound to change soon. However, it doesn't seem to have changed this week. That's not to say that there weren't a few things worth commenting on or worth noting. So, with that in mind, let's jump in. This is a new hat. It's a little tight. I love it. We're going to try to jam my glasses in, and I'm trying to minimize glare. So, there was a deleted live last Saturday, because I post on Saturdays. I think Saturday night there was a live. I couldn't find it. I couldn't retrieve it, but nobody seemed to have reposted it with commentary or anything. So I guess there was nothing really juicy in it. So, my fault, missed the live. Can't tell you what was in it. If there was anything good, please comment below so we can all share. But I couldn't find anything on it. Next, live hangout making dinner. This was 2+ hours long, and it was her and Pete's. So, she's looking a little rough. More than a little rough. No makeup, ratty hair, a lot of roots considering she just did her hair, or had it done. And of course she didn't lie about getting her hair done. I could see it was done before, but her hair must grow really freaking fast. She said she cleaned out the fridge, threw out all that health food. I'm pretty much thinking. And she said she doesn't feel like doing a video, so she thought she'd do a live. Okay, lives are a lot easier than making a video. Live, you sit down, you turn on YouTube, you go live, and that's it. And you talk, or you don't, or you eat, or you entertain, or you do something for that period of time. You maybe collect super chats. If you're a large channel, I don't usually, if I'm watching Chantal's lives, I'm not watching it with the chat coming through, I'm just watching it. I don't know about super chats for really big channels. They stack up, and then you monetize it with ads after you repost it. But there's very little effort. There's no editing, generally. So they are easier. So I can appreciate that. But if there was an audience of tens of thousands, I don't know. Maybe I'd put a little more. Not that I wouldn't do lives, because we have scheduled lives. We do one every Sunday. We're doing one tomorrow. But is it lazy content? I've seen lazier filmed content, so I can't say as much. Anyway, so she's cooking chicken and rice of some sort, and she has some crispy chip things she's having. And then she bought the cookies to make an icebox cake for the Roaring Twenties mukbang. We'll get to that later. Mark had some thoughts. So just some bullet points as I went through. Usually with the lives, I just stop every 10 minutes or so and try to pick out what's going on. So, somebody had suggested apparently hiring a private detective to try to find the French lover, which she said, oh, ha ha ha, meaning she probably already tried that. One cat can be on the counter and the other one can't, for reasons unclear to me. What she's looking for in a partner is someone polite, honest, chivalrous, and has a good set of morals. Opposites attract. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I had to... You would have... Okay. She spends a lot of time reminiscing about the good old days. Her good old days. And she does this a lot lately. She's been going to her hometown. As far as being reminiscent and bringing back memories, food obviously has a big connection for her. So she's going back and like, this is the best whatever I had. It was in my hometown. This was the best what something else. The best Alfredo something. And then she's feeding it to the birds or whatever. Reminiscing. Story times from that period. So, like, nothing that happened during the last 8 years she's talking about as a fuzzy memory. Like, between her and BB. All of her good times that she's talking about happened, like, way prior to everything. So, she's reminiscing a little bit. Maybe feeling nostalgic in some sort of way. I don't know. Pete does show up to eat at a certain point during this. And they get off on the topic of course, Pete being the king of the non sequitur. What role would you play in a post-apocalyptic world? And,
Oh, God.
and they both agree that they would die quickly. Chantal saying, if it's not your time, it's not your time. Whatever. I'd be eaten first. I hope if something were to happen that, you know, if an asteroid were to hit, it would hit me right on the head. I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to struggle. So next is first experience with Fashion Nova Curve. So this is, I guess, a mail order company. Maybe they have a storefront. I don't know. With clothes for plus-size women. And it's a line she hadn't tried before. And then she got clothes from Pennington's, which is apparently known to make clothes for plus-size women. So the first thing is that the audio isn't synced in this video. She must have filmed the whole thing and then got to the end and realized the audio and it is not lined up. So rather than film it again, she just narrated over the top of herself and basically re-explained everything she was doing in the video. As far as the fashion part of it, she didn't, it didn't take away from it much when she was showing off what she had bought, which we'll talk about in a second. But in the beginning, maybe it kind of did. I don't know. Was it lazy not to redo it? Again, lazy content. When you're a big person, I've been a bigger person, not as big as her, but I've been a big person. It's hard to get your clothes off and on. It's almost like taking armor off and on. So I can understand that she might not want to had to take all those clothes off and put them all back on over again. So, you know, I'd cut her some slack with that. Especially, well, okay. Anyway, so she says that she is body conscious, but she really lets it all hang out in this. And I think the part that is probably unsightly isn't the right word, but that I think people would notice if they were casting an unfriendly eye. And I think what stands out is that her lower stomach hangs very low. And shirts, tops, you know, all that kind of stuff, but it hangs. And the way her pants were fitting, it kind of accentuated it. And she said she couldn't get the zipper up on one of the pair of pants.
Yeah, right.
Well, she said it broke, or it couldn't get up. I suspect, though I don't know. Now, I said I've been a person of size. I'm not just imagining this. I can picture it in my head. Chantal is a short woman with very short arms and a very large stomach. It's possible that she leaned down and laid on the bed. If you're heavy, you've laid on the bed to close jeans. She laid down and possibly couldn't reach to where the zipper was to pull it up. Any number of reasons. Don't tell me that's suspecting too much. She can't put on her socks. So, possible. At any rate, even if they were closed, I don't think it was the right fit for her. It's not the right look for her. That's a personal thing. It's not my clothes, it's her clothes. I would encourage her to dress however she likes, and F anyone who says otherwise. Even if they are a little too tight. Even if they're not as flattering. If she likes the way she looks in her clothes, she should wear whatever she damn well pleases. I think. And I don't know what I would want to wear if I was a 5'2", 400-pound woman. I don't know what I would think I looked good in or felt flattering. I might be the kind of person who would just hang out in a muumuu. Because I'd feel ashamed. So, just saying. Just saying.
I think her clothes were way too tight. If you're doing a fashion show for a video, I think even if she got the same clothes, but maybe they were just a little bit larger.
Okay, so, yeah. The only thing that fit was the earrings. But... and she admits as much from the line that she ordered, Fashion Nova. And I didn't think the earrings were cute. But again, I'm not a fashion guy. I'm not a queer eye for the straight guy type of gay guy. I don't get it. But I thought they were too chunky. And she said they only went up to 3X, and 3X didn't fit her very well. And she's not an unattractive woman. And I've known big women who can make it work. You have to create a lot of optical illusions to create a waist when you don't have one. But
Absolutely.
It can be done.
She's a beautiful woman.
It can be done, you know, if that's what she's trying to do. So, again, a lot of the clothes didn't wear it. The stilettos. The stiletto shoes.
Oh.
How many edibles can one woman eat before she decides she can put on stilettos that height? I don't know. Maybe it was just bait for a picture, like, and she just always intended to send them back. But I cannot fathom. She had to have known. I mean, she has a very wide width. We won't go too much. She has a very, very wide width. And I imagine she would have needed assistance getting them on. Now, in her defense, I've seen women need help getting on very high shoes. But she'd hurt herself if she got them on. She must have been in, like, a manic whim of some sort. And the Pennington stuff, more or less fit. There was a top that was a 4X, and then the shorts and the capris, and she couldn't close the one for reasons unclear. Again, she did a little fashion show. The burgundy top was nice. The pants, meh. So next, Taco Tuesday mukbang and story time. And the thumbnail says he was a gigolo. So, she did a bit of cooking. It was like an old El Paso taco kit. Reminded me of being a kid. We used to get the same kits, too. They were good. And she said, cooking these tacos, the 5 of them which she eats, reminds her of an event, of a time. So she watches the show Gigolos, which I guess is on Showtime, and from what she describes, sounds kind of hot. But that, mixed with the tacos, brought her to a story of a gentleman she was seeing who worked at a salad dressing factory. And they were kind of off and on, and it doesn't sound like he was very nice to her at all, but he would call begging every so often, and I guess there was a final straw. They had gone to McDonald's, and he bought 2 meals for himself and nothing for her, and she read him the riot act. And I would too. I mean, especially something as sacred as McDonald's. I mean, that's important to her. So, beyond that, he invites her over, and he's going to make her something to eat. Tacos. It's Taco Tuesday. So she goes over to his place and hangs out for 45 minutes or an hour. And he comes in, and they're eating in silence. Not much going on. And so she tries to break the silence and says, hey, how's your job at the salad dressing factory? And the gentleman who she's seeing, his brother is in the room, and they seem to fight like cats and dogs, and the brother says, didn't he tell you he got canned and he's working as a gigolo for old ladies with cats? So she and this gentleman then go into the basement, which I guess used to be code for let's mess around, and she puts him on blast and said, before we do anything, can you just tell me about all this? You know, and apparently the guy had found his way into a situation where a third party would set him up with women of a certain age, and he would keep them company in a PG-rated way, apparently, and they would pay for the time. Apparently, he had the goods, and he was willing to sell them. So she also says that once this was found out and brought into the public, you know, well, brought up between her and him, that he received a call one time when Chantal was there, and the person was like, yeah, bring her along. And Chantal leaves a cliffhanger and says, if you want to hear that story, let me know below. I don't know if I want to know that story. Yeah, I don't want to know. Don't want to know. But that was pretty much, yeah. She just dropped it there. You want to let me know. I'm following another channel, which I usually do, and all of a sudden now there's been these cliffhangers back and forth between mediums. The other channel I'm following is doing it with only fans, and they're putting up non-adult content, but exclusive content on that channel. So on YouTube, you'll get a cliffhanger like, this is going on here, you want to find out for X number of dollars a month, you can see it over here. So, but Chantal's a little more savvy. I mean, she has a very big channel, and she makes a living so to speak, off of YouTube. So I'm assuming she knows what she's doing with that. Next, Time Warp Mukbang. Eat like the 1920s. Now this looked cute. This looked cute. I'm getting a little sick of the green screen. Okay, it's a once in a while thing. A little of it goes a very long way. Very long way. Also, the way this was set up, her head and the chandelier that was behind her, she looked like something that should have been like carved in stone and discovered in a cave. I don't know. She's making something called the Prosperity Sandwich, which she looked up. And it sounds okay. It's like an open-faced sandwich. It's, I guess, got some cold cuts, and then tomatoes, and then a bechamel, and some mushrooms, and it looked really tasty. And she gave it a once-over. I don't even think she was able to finish it. And she said the recipe she made was supposed to serve 4, but she condensed it down to serve 2, and then ate half of it. Part of it serving 4, I think. Now, I know mukbangs you eat more, but part of it serving 4 speaks to that time that people didn't really overeat as much, I think. You know, not everything was double this, double that. It was just, you eat your portion, and then you're done, because there's only so much food to feed so many people. But that was just, you know, a thought. Mark?
Yeah?
You had some thoughts, correct? About the Roaring Twenties?
About what?
About the Roaring Twenties?
Oh, I was so excited about the Roaring. I like these new segments she's doing with like the.
I like the
era.
decades of food.
I think it's cute.
I think it's cute too.
I just wish she would have been a little more, you know, true to the time. That's all.
In what way?
Well, like the dessert for one thing, icebox cake. I mean, I don't know. I think if you're gonna do something that's like era themed, you should, you know, do your research and make sure that you're accurate on what you're saying. You know, icebox cakes were like actually introduced in the U.S. in the 1930s, not the 1920s. But I mean, you know, whatever. I mean, and also, I mean, why wouldn't she pick a more, you know, like if you think of 1920s desserts, pineapple upside down cake. I mean, that is like the. I mean. You know,
and
I don't know.
On contrary to Pete's comment that all he knows about is the 50s and that it involved Jell-O. Jell-O was popular in the 20s too.
Pete's really shouldn't, I guess, comment on that because I'm assuming he's a very smart person the way he comes across. And
he speaks with certainty, but that doesn't mean everything he says is correct.
Jell-O was introduced in 1897. It became, you know, it didn't become popular. It was not a 50s thing. That actually was a 20s thing.
See? Yes, chef.
No, seriously, it was. Because
well, you have a degree in culinary stuff.
They put, like, a massive amount of money into advertising Jell-O. The Jell-O brand did to make it, like, a staple in
Settle in. This is good stuff.
The American house. I just know, like, worthless trivia stuff, I guess. I don't know.
Well.
But he's wrong. The 50s, I mean, Jell-O was a staple in American households in the 1920s on purpose. They really, really pushed it. I mean, I don't know, equivalent to today's money, it was like millions of dollars in advertising, you know.
All for Jell-O.
For Jell-O, yeah. But the icebox cake thing, you know, like that was, I mean, they really were promoting, like, the refrigerator, they also were promoting as a, they wanted it to be a staple household appliance, you know. And obviously an icebox cake would fit really nicely into that, you know, using that, you know. But it was the 30s, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Mark.
But, I mean, hey, give her credit, you know. I mean, I love the idea. I just, maybe be accurate, you know. A little more. But I loved it.
I should get one of those long things for my cigarette like she had.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
And if she would have turned that headband to the side, that would have been very accurate.
Yeah, that was a 20s, 30s difference. So.
Yeah, it was. But the green screen I agree with. I think the one for that was... Is that the one with the chandelier? The chandelier,
where she looked like Nefertiti or something. Like it was huge on top of her head. All right. Well, anyway... She acknowledged Western prosperity during this, and I said that last time. She's like, the 50s were a time of this. I was like, 1950s in Rwanda might have been a little bit different than 1950s in suburban America, which she acknowledged. You know, she's not a monster. Dessert, the icebox cake, which looked very good. I mean, what's not to like? It's cream and cookies. So, we talked about Pete's, and then the last Fast Food Friday, mukbang with Pete's. She's giving hungry fat chick vibes in this. She's cut her own bangs because quarantine, I guess. We all did this months ago. But she's cut her own hair, and you know how hungry fat chick has the really sharp, low bang, or she had for a while, and the dark hair. And she does a nice face of makeup too, actually. And Chantal's sitting low on the counter, so her arms are what's up, and hungry fat chick also has, thick arms. So the way Chantal's sitting and her hair is falling, and she looks just, not just like her, but maybe a little sister or a cousin.
Pretty darn close.
She's close, yeah. So they get stuff from a fast food chain. It's called Central Bergam. I don't know. It's, I guess, out of Montreal from what she says. And it's sandwiches. So she gets 2 and Pete gets whatever Pete eats. She got an Oriental and a cheesesteak, and Pete's was supposed to get no cheese on his, and instead he got double cheese. Chantal says, "I told them no cheese," and then a few seconds later under her breath, "Maybe I forgot to say no cheese." And Pete,
and Pete took it like a champ, too. He's like,
"I'll scrape it off.
I guess I'll just scrape it off."
He's like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. "Thanks for noticing." Poor Pete's. Now, before I go any further, I just have to say, this mukbang was fucking gross, even by mukbang standards. I mean, a third of the screen was filmed boxes. Boxes. Like, this was it. From here up, and then boxes of fries and shit, like, all the way under. So, Pete's, king of the non sequitur. Are you going somewhere?
Yeah, I'm leaving for the day. Bye.
Okay. Mark says bye.
Bye, everybody. Now I gotta run to the store.
Okay.
I gotta get some icebox cake.
Oh, good. Bring your tray in case you want to stop for fast food. So, Pete says, everyone comment below with your favorite kind of cheesesteak. There's a bit of a silence. And then he says, ever watched a grown man die? Comment below. Anyone who watches me on Thursdays, you might know that there's a series there called Life After... That's so mean, but you could comment below, too. Again, you can't see the table. The boxes are up to here. And then they get to a discussion about wasting food. And how it's a sin to waste food, and how they would tell you when you were kids, eat up, they're starving children in China. Like we were going to put our food in mail. Like, I always thought, like, what are you going to do? Like, mail our food there? Like, our leftovers? Like, how rude is that to feed someone your leftovers? And Chantal said, yeah, that's why I try not to waste food. She buys a whole lot with the intention of not wasting it. Though she just cleaned out her fridge. It's a principle sort of thing, which she drives home, because Pete takes it very literally as a way of trying to bully people into eating more. But, I don't know. Food shaming. It's all food shaming. Shame, 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 shame. So, Pete's also said that even your cat thinks you eat like a pig. Oh, no, not eat like a pig, that she is a pig. So, number 6, which was today's live, and there will be another video out tonight according to her, but that won't make it into this unless by the time I'm done filming and I look, it's there. And we'll do it, I guess, sort of live. Her lunch, live, drive, and lunch. Now, again, this is a live, so I did some skipping through. I didn't go, you know, all the way through this because I'm just a man, okay? She said hi to 1,000 people, just like, you know, live start. She said she's working on the vlog for later tonight. She was up early. I don't know what early is for Chantal. She had coffee on her patio. She's out driving, and she stops to give a guy some money. Now, would she have stopped to give a guy money if there was no camera playing at the moment? There was no recording going on. I don't know. Is she that kind of person? She did give a 20 to the popular girl who ended up a homeless drug addict when she saw her in the barrio, or wherever she found her in downtown Ottawa, scrounging. And that girl got hers because she took the guy that Chantal liked. So Chantal is notorious for giving money, apparently, to people during hard times. Maybe she did, maybe she... You know, maybe she did because she was on camera, maybe she did because she's a generous person. Either way, a guy who probably needed it got some money. Oh well. In the end, he got some help, whether she was sincere about it or not. So some bullet points. When Pete gets up, they're going food shopping. Her car is in a state of disrepair. 33 minutes of this video is driving to Panera. I mean, I thought she lived in, like, suburban Ottawa. Like, or on the outskirts of it. Like, I don't have to... I could get to a Panera probably in, like, 15 minutes. Maybe. I I live, like, in a city, but not a big city. Like, Scranton's not New York. You know, Ottawa's probably 18 times the size of Scranton. But I can get to some of those things in less than 33 minutes. I've been watching these blooper reel type things, like Bad Day at Work, just mindless 10-second clips of people screwing up. And all I can gather from most of those is that everything in Eastern Europe is a very far drive apart, and that in certain parts of South Asia, construction equipment, there's like no such thing as OSHA. In some parts of the world, people will do amazing things with bulldozers, and hurt themselves, and set back deadlines of construction, I'm sure. So that's just me getting lost in YouTube. When I need a break from taking notes on Big C and Chantal, I do that. So she orders from Panera barbecued mac and cheese, chicken salad, and a large lemonade with extra ice. Skip ahead a few minutes, Chantal's talking about her hobbies. Reading, doing videos, cleaning, watching crap on TV. Mine are about the same. Minus reading. I used to always tell people reading was a hobby of mine because I thought it would make me sound smart. I do enjoy reading, but I don't do it very often. And I'm the kind of person, I read like I watch TV, like I watch YouTube. I find something I like, and I watch it or read it over and over and over. I do it with songs. I know I'm going to eventually get sick of it. I wait for that time to come up. But my favorite books I've read 30 times. But I might have only read, I don't know, in the hundreds of books in my life. You know, not that many. Enough to finish college, enough to finish high school. But for my own leisure reading? Is it enough to add in? No, probably not. You'd be more likely to see, in my own hobbies, watch crap on YouTube, play Nintendo when it's convenient, and make videos, cook, nap, sleep. You know, I live a very full life, too. Oh, and I work. I have a full-time job. But I work from home. So, you know. Let's see. What else? She doesn't want any new friends right now. The cat scratched her when she was cutting her nails. She did pass gas in this. She didn't like the pastry she got when she stopped to get a nice coffee. She would totally do a mukbang with Nikocado avocado. Again, let's all choose our heroes carefully. She sang a bit, and then she was also talking about taking requests. So that was our week with Foodie Beauty. So was there a theme? Like, what is the theme? What's going on? Well, she seems to be, at the moment, sticking to her guns when it comes to not talking about weight loss and keeping it off YouTube. Even last week, there was only, like, one little mention about it, and that was where we titled it Feast and Famine. She said she'd rather eat a lot in one sitting and then wait and eat more. Kind of like a nomad sort of thing. But that was, like, 5 to 10 seconds of one video all of last week. So this week it didn't come up at all. So I would say that she's standing her ground, to a degree, without being obnoxious about it, and I didn't see anything on the community board that she posted this week, if there was. And I tried to keep up as best I could. We were out of town this week, and then I had 3 days worth of work that wasn't done. I had to do in 2, so tried to make sure it was on the level. Going forward, cycle-wise, she's due for another breakdown of sorts, or at least a bit of drama. Something's going to have to cut this up. So whether it's another fight with Charlie Gold, I caught wind of some other drama that could be on, that isn't on YouTube, but is circling in other mediums all over the place, that could involve her. So, we'll see. We'll see what comes up. But, you know, consistent high views aren't her deal. Something's got to come in and screw it up. So, I don't know. Trip to the psych ward, fight with another YouTuber, something about fat shaming. Could be anything. Could be anything. We'll see. I'm here for it. Totally here for it. So thank you all for watching. Please do subscribe. Hit the like button and the bell on your way out so you get the alerts. And also you'll hear about every time we go live. You can follow Mark and I about Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc, or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc, or our handle on Twitter is at SmokeySteveA. Our email address and our contact info is all listed down below as well. Thank you again, and Mark and I will be going live tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern. If you get a chance, stop by and say howdy. Thank you again, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.